Shalom, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushai, double honors unto the apostles of Great Millstone that rule well, and salutations unto the elect pushing the truth of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai. Alright, this lesson is entitled, Lest we be, lest we be ignorant of Satan's devices, right? Or we are not ignorant of Satan's devices. Basically going into one of this devil's devices being frequency or music, right? Because he uses that as a weapon. And I'm going to read the scripture first, 2 Corinthians 2:11. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. The word Satan means adversary or enemy. And who is the enemy upon this earth? It is who the so-called world calls the white man, or who the world calls the so-called white man, right? Which in the scriptures pertaining to the Bible, he is Esau, or which became the nation Edom, right? Which he is the adversary upon this earth, man. You know, he is the enemy. And I'm gonna look up this word, devices, because it's a very good word. No ama, right? Which means a mental perception or thought, an evil purpose, that which thinks the mind, thoughts or purposes. See, so his mental perceptions, he'll divide shit. Hey, matter of fact, upon his bed. That's in Psalms, right? You know, he just thinks of shit and he'll do it, man. You know, this is Psalms 36:4. He deviseth mischief upon his bed. He setteth himself in a way that is not good. He abhorreth not evil. You know, so he deviseth mischief upon his bed, man. He'll be going to sleep thinking of what mischief he can do, man. What mischief he can fulfill. You know, and this goes into this article, right, titled "Are we all listening to Nazi engineered music?" Right? You can type it in Google. I just copied and pasted it. The point is the 440 hertz story, which I highlighted some of the points. I'm going to read some of it. There's a lot of stuff, so I'll just go in and out. It says, when two or more musicians get together, it is important for their instruments to be in tune. A specific note on one instrument should be the same frequency as the same note on another. Rather than argue about who is correct and who is sounding off-pitch, some standard agreement about tuning is usually adhered to beforehand. Today, most musicians around the world tune their instruments such a way that the A note, the one above middle C, is tuned specifically to a frequency of 440 cycles per second, or hertz, right? In tuning a guitar, for example, the A string is usually tuned to 440 hertz first, then the other strings are tuned accordingly. Likewise, on a piano, the A note is tuned first, then the other notes are adjusted either higher or lower. So, you know, the A note, just like on the guitar, they're bringing up an example, or piano, it's tuned first and then the rest follow, right? So that's a standard. This frequency of 440 hertz is called the standard concert pitch and has been the practice everywhere since about 1939. It was officially adopted by the global ISO standard in about 1956. Just about all the music you hear is adjusted to this specific pitch, but this was not always the case, right? The story told on the web claims that the most ancient instruments in human history were tuned to a different pitch. The one most preferred was 432 hertz. It is claimed that even the oldest flutes dating back to the Neanderthals 45,000 BC, right, Esau's 2 cents, right, diversion, were tuned to 432, as were the lyres, if I'm saying that right, in ancient Greece, and the wind instruments discovered in Egyptian tombs. An interesting story claims that the lyres of the temples of Greece were an integral part of the ceremonies worshiping Isis and other so-called mystery schools. Cult members were aroused to states of ecstasy by the sounds of this 432 hertz tune music, which, in the case of the Eleusinian mysteries, made them filled with compassion and altruism. For this reason, according to the story, the warlike state of Sparta had all the lyres retuned to a higher frequency, thus nulling the anti-war sentiments. So you see that's a very key point, because at 432 hertz, that pitch, it gave you peace. Like I said, it gave you ecstasy, it gave you a feeling of joy. But to people that were against the war, they wanted to amp them up and just make them aggressive and warlike. They would amp the frequency higher, so that would make them more aggressive, man. And what you're gonna find out is that that's what they're doing today with this music, with really all forms of audio formats, man. Everything you hear is tuned to that specific pitch, because they found that people are more aggressive, people are more just savage like, man. And do you not see the world like that? Do you not see savagery going on and people just totally, just aggressive as hell, man, just for no reason, just at a simple click of a button. There's other factors that go with that, but this is one of Satan's devices, man. This is just another crime to add to the list of Esau, man, that the angels have written down, right? Obviously, the ancient people did not have tuning forks or digital meters, and so it is presumed that this frequency of 432 is intuitive, meaning that it somehow sounded right to the human ear. This kind of intuition is supported by the surprise that even the most ancient flutes all have what is called a heptatonic scale of 8 notes, do, re, mi, fa, such that if you pick one back, then you could conceivably play Yankee Doodle on it. In fact, in Werner Herzog's film documentary Cave of Forgotten Dreams, archaeologist Wolf Hine plays the Star-Spangled Banner on a Paleolithic flute made from the radius bone of a vulture. Right? When music became a performance art, this is when the so-called Illuminati got involved here. It says there was a tendency for orchestras and performing musicians to tune their instruments up. This created a brighter sound that was better suited for the acoustics and environment of their stage. Some had the A tuned as high as 460 Hz. Opera singers complained that they could not sing in these higher ranges and that they were suffering from vocal stress. And so the real music conspiracy story begins in 1910 when a man named John Calhoun Deegan, an alleged member of the U.S. Naval Intelligence, which was funded by the Rothschilds through their agents in the Rockefeller family, joined the American Federation of Musicians and convinced the group to endorse a standard of 440 Hz tuning for all orchestras and concert performing musicians. He was successful, but this standard only applied to public performances in America. Right? So at about the same time, Thomas Edison had invented the phonograph, and cinemas were beginning to show films made with soundtracks, both live and recorded. The potential to utilize sound as a propaganda tool was quickly realized, and General Electric, Edison's new company, received large grants from the Rockefellers to develop this. They also funded acoustic research through the U.S. Naval and National Defense Research Council, geared at finding ways to alter the emotions through music. You see, so they were, and that's what the word music actually means. If you go to Edom online, you type in music. Elder Ayathan did this a couple of years back. He did a lesson on it, right? So from Old French and directly from Latin, musica, the art of music. If you go back to Greek, musique, art of the muses, the feminine of musicus or musicos, pertaining to the muses, from musa, muse. If you look up muse, right, muse means to reflect, to be absorbed in thought, to muse upon, right, to contemplate, to ponder, dream, wonder, loiter, waste time, literally to stand with one's nose in the air, right, the muses. If you go here to the noun, protectors of the arts, from Old French muse, and directly from Latin musa, from Greek musa, the muse, right? Meaning inspiring goddess of a particular poem. So it has to do with emotion, right? Pondering and etc. Right? So that's interesting to note. And this dude Thomas Edison, this was around the time when Tesla was coming about, and he came. And I believe he worked with Edison first, and then they had a splitting, and he went to go do his thing, and he was doing some crazy shit, man. He was doing, basically getting electricity from the ground, man. And while this idiot Edison, this devil, this Edomite, You know, this adversary, he was doing shit just the Edomite way. You know, the son of perdition, right? Tesla was on another level, man. And you know, when Tesla died, right? Uh, what happened? I believe they burned his works, but a lot of shit they took, man, because they obviously knew he was working on a different level. He was working with electricity rather than oil. Frequencies he was working with. You know what I'm saying? He was working with a lot of shit, man. So they used that technology as well. They didn't just come up with this. They used that technology, and they said, oh, we can tweak the because everyone's an electric being, right? So frequencies have a part to play, right? Um, it says they were especially interested in the ability to create mass hysteria and interviewed families who had been driven to a frenzy by Orson Welles' broadcast of War of the Worlds. They realized the potential that audio and music could have on the human psyche and incorporated these ideas in their plans for global mind control. Right? It says because the phonograph records and talking movies were produced in America, these new technologies were forced to comply with the American Federation of Music's 440 Hz tuning standard. Right? Soon a slew of propaganda films were shown in Edison's theaters before and after the main features, and surveys were conducted to determine the emotional effectiveness of the musical soundtracks. Right? So at the beginning of the 1930s, the potential of 440 Hz to combat altruism and stimulate nationalism, narcissism, and aggression was fueled by the new science of psychology. Freud's psychoanalysis in Europe was mainly for the elite, but his theories of mass hysteria found their way to America through his nephew Edward Bernays, who successfully used Freud's theories and mind control techniques in advertising and politics. Right? He was the first to note that only about 8 to 10% of a population needed to be convinced of a new idea for it to eventually become unanimously accepted. This has been called the 10% solution, man. You see that? And that's how they push all these new things. That's how they push these transvestites, these bestiality laws, which are coming to a town near you, believe it or not. Pedophilia, you know, that's how they're pushing that. Just 8 to 10%, and then it'll just spread. Why? Because it's like a cancer. Right? You only need, how does a tumor start? It doesn't fucking start as a tumor. It starts with cancer cells manipulating your regular cells, man. You know, what's the word? Forgetting the word, but like, taking over, hijacking, so to speak, and it spreads slowly. You know, so that was it on that. And I wanted to get one more scripture. Matter of fact, I'll look it on my phone. But yeah, man, this is just another one of Satan's devices, and that's why, that's one of the reasons why we really just feel fucked up, man. We just feel headaches and migraines and just sharp pains and just aggression. You're just mad. You be mad and you don't know why, because it's all these frequencies, electromagnetic fields, laptop, fucking cell phone, these cell phone towers, these hydro poles, the electrical wire underground. So you got underground and you got the power lines on top. The power lines going underground and the ones on top. You're just in a fucking, in a field, man, and it's fucking you up. The music, and then on top of that, man, you got the fucking Bluetooth with the headphones fucking you up, and then you got this 440 hertz shit fucking up. You got your headphones on, man. So hey, we gotta be delivered out of here, man. Yahweh Shem Yahshua, we gotta be, um, we gotta get delivered, man. And that's what this is all about. You know, yeah, this is Daniel 3:7. It says, therefore, at that time, when all the people heard the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, sackbut, psaltery, and all kinds of music, all the people, the nations, and the languages fell down and worshipped the golden image that Nebuchadnezzar the king had set up. Man, you see, so music was used for different things, man, to manipulate. And like the scripture says, that which has been is that which shall be. There's no new thing under the sun. So of course they knew how to pitch music and frequencies, and they knew all that science, man. They had all that information and knowledge, man, just like we have it today. They had all that shit just like they have it today. So when they heard all that music and shit, people fell down and they worshipped the image, man. You know, that ain't, that's not nothing new. You know, I'm gonna get this thing. Brothers can look it up. It's a meme a brother sent me. You see it right here. I'm going to read it. It says, meet Wilhelm Reich. He secretly worked for the CIA from 1947 to 52, successfully developing a frequency band that can manipulate minds. Reich discovered who the CIA planned on using this mind control on, the American people. Reich swore never to help the US government again. He was thrown in federal prison where he was murdered. The frequency used in cell towers today exactly matches Reich's second wave mind control frequency. So all these frequencies, all this electromagnetic fields and all this shit, man, it's just fucking you up. And it's through the grace and power of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai that we can still have this power and this might and boldness to expose the devil, man. To push the truth, man. Because all these people, man, that's what they're zombies. They're totally being programmed through frequency, through music, through food, you know, all that shit, ads, everything, man, imagery, So again, I want to say, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushai, Ka Halalyam, La Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, noble honors unto the apostles of Great Millstone, who I learned the truth from, and salutations and blessings unto the elect pushing the truth of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. Until next time, I'll say Shalom.